Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I'm going to share with you additional reasons why XRP is so perfectly primed to hit a new all-time high, enterprise discovery, and ultimately melt faces. And it's so exciting because, yeah, it's been fun seeing what XRP has done since, the election here in the United States is over. The entire asset class, of course, much higher, but XRP proving it's alive and that it absolutely is going to participate in this particular market cycle because it already is. Or it wouldn't be above $1. It wouldn't have even run there. And even if it corrects to the downside or whatever, it doesn't matter. If this market goes higher, XRP is going with it. But I want to share with you some additional reasons that it makes sense to be excited. And as it turns out, retail interest in XRP has been soaring, which frankly shouldn't be that surprising given the price action that we've seen. But I want to share with you some actual numbers. Because considering where we're at price-wise with where the current interest is, and if you look at from like a historical perspective, where the interest has peaked from retailers, it just paints an incredible picture. It will help to add additional context as to why I personally believe that this thing has barely gotten started. XRP is going to blast to the upside. Now there's this headline from the Crypto Basic: XRP all-time high on cards as Google XRP search interest soars to all-time high. Now the headline is actually false. And I'm going to speculate as to why that might be. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so the part that I'm saying is not true in regards to the headline is that search interest for XRP is not at an all-time high. In fact, it's nowhere near it. And again, I have a theory as to why this is being incorrectly reported. I doubt it's intentional. I'd be very surprised because they're a reputable outfit. But then there's also this too, and I want to mention this as well. It happened with Bitcoin. And so here you have the Bitcoinist website. And this is from a week ago. $81,000 Bitcoin sparks frenzy. Google searches reach all-time high. That is flatly not true. I think that they just don't know what they're looking at because otherwise I cannot fathom why they just put these false headlines out here. So for example, here's Bitcoin search term. I'm in Google Trends right now. And this is going back to 2004 before Bitcoin even existed. And this is just for the United States at the moment. I'm going to change that in just a second. But you can see where we're at right now. We're at like a 33 out of 100 with the max interest being this 100 point right here in December of 2017, which frankly isn't that surprising. Fewer people knew about Bitcoin when it started going absolutely ridiculously high. Lots of people were curious and looking into it. They were Google searching, right? So that's the 100 point. And by the way, just to make sure that everybody understands this system here, it's described by Google as follows. Here's what the numbers represent. Numbers represent search interest relative to the highest point on the chart for the given region and time. A value of 100 is the peak popularity for the term. A value of 50 means that the term is half as popular. A score of 0 means there was not enough data for this term. Okay, so if you're looking just in the United States going back to 2004, then the all-time high was actually December of 2017, not now. Now, if you look over a shorter time frame, like say you have the last 12 months pulled up, well, then it will show that we hit the number 100 for this past week. But it's only 100, so it's an all-time high for that time period, but that's going back the last 12 months. So I don't know if that's why. Maybe they were saying, oh, it's 100 all-time high, but they weren't actually going back to the beginning of time. That's my best guess. I don't know. Now, it makes more sense to look at not just it's happening in the United States, but on a global scale. This is a global phenomenon, obviously. Decentralized ledger technology accessible the world over, except for like North Korea, obviously. not if you're living there. But here it is on a worldwide scale, and it looks about the same. So you still had the peak for Bitcoin in December of 2017. Okay, well, what about XRP? It actually looks different. And check this out. This is pretty interesting. And so I think that the Crypto Basic, by the way, I think they did the same thing here. So it reads as follows. Google search interest in XRP is now at an all-time high, coinciding with the asset's spectacular price surge to 3-year highs. According to data from Google Trends, the search interest for XRP reached a peak popularity score of 100 on November 16th. Just 8 days earlier, however, search interest was at a mere 8, indicating a lack of public enthusiasm for the token. Okay, well, again, that depends on the timeline you're looking at. If you're looking back the last 12 months, and here it is just in the United States, you can see, yeah, fine, you blast off to 100. But if you take a look at let's go back to the beginning of time here. It goes back to 2004 again. Of course, XRP didn't exist back then, but you can see that in the United States anyway, and this shouldn't be that surprising, XRP's peak search interest was December of 2017. And the subsequent cycle, and the same was true for Bitcoin, certainly in the United States, there were fewer searches from peak to peak. Well, that you can only speculate on this. Some think that this cycle looks more like 2017, so that's actually going to be dwarfed. But more people were aware of it, so even as the cycle got hot, there's some people who were like, oh, I'm aware of that, thinking maybe they just didn't feel like searching it. That didn't mean that there wouldn't be a crazy amount of money flowing in. So we'll see what that looks like. It could just be the case that with each subsequent cycle, that you're less and less likely to get a peak that high in terms of search terms. That's certainly plausible anyway, and that has been what's happened so far anyway. But for XRP, again, December 2017, that was the peak. But check this out, and this gets super interesting, because again, that's a USA chart I just showed you. Change it to worldwide. Look at this. Look at that. XRP, all-time high search term, April 2021. That's insane. That's not true for Bitcoin. That's true for XRP. Think about that. That many people searching it. And you know what I think that highlights, since XRP didn't hit a new all-time high, but there was that much interest on a global scale? I think that really highlights the degree to which the SEC truly artificially suppressed the price action of XRP. How many people were interested? They look into it, and then they're like, I don't know, though. And I can understand the trepidation, frankly. I don't blame people for feeling like that. But it's the asshat pricks over at the SEC that screwed us last market cycle. So that's the data. But it has been moving to the upside. And that's part of what's so damn cool here. On a global scale, we're not back to where that was, but look, we're at 82 here for November of 2024. Obviously, the data's not complete yet. But that's a massive... Now, think about that. It's rocketed that high in terms of interest on a global scale, and XRP's gotten to a cycle high so far anyway of $1.26 on Binance anyway. That's it. And there's already this. So think about what that means. Like we haven't even started alt season yet. There are way more eyeballs on this. Like when the real money flows in, we've already gone this high in price. There's already this much interest. My God. Yes, face melt season is at hand once that occurs, I certainly think. And you know what else makes it reasonable to be super excited about this? Take a look at this. Let's compare Bitcoin to XRP going back to 2004, because that's how far back Google will let you look back at their data. This is on a worldwide scale. So the blue line on your screen here, that shows the search action for Bitcoin, and then the red line is XRP. And you can see, obviously, comparatively, way more interest in Bitcoin than XRP, very obviously. Now, that's not a negative in my mind. I'm happy to invest in something before it's broadly accepted as a thing that's going to have staying power, because then, if you're that early, you're probably buying it at a cheaper price, and that's where you get the opportunity for life-changing wealth. So I'm happy that people jumped into Bitcoin. Bitcoin being created is what made it possible for XRP to ultimately be created. That's the reason we have this opportunity. Very thankful for it. But there's almost nobody on the planet that has ever even heard of XRP. So consider this, okay? There's... How many wallets are there? There's about 5.3 million wallets in existence for XRP, and there are about 8 billion humans on the planet. So what's that mean? Like roughly, if you do the math somewhere, like maybe 0.5% of humans in existence have ever held XRP at any point in time. 0.5%. Now, we can't know the exact number, and the reason is I think a lot of people that buy XRP, they may not even take self-custody, so a lot of people could be in they could have their XRP in a shared wallet on an exchange. And then on the flip side, there are people like me who don't do that, but I have multiple XRP wallets, for example, so there's no way to know for sure. But if you just go by that 5.3 million figure, that would be about 0.5% of humans have ever purchased XRP. So where's the real opportunity? There's so much less money in XRP, but obviously the asset class moves in tandem, and you can see that. If you've got some eyeballs, even just one, you can see that when XRP rocketed each market cycle, it was at the same time Bitcoin went. But there's way more opportunity, obviously, in XRP. And it's so fascinating to see this. So XRP has taken off as Bitcoin has taken off at post-election. It's just the multiplier effect. It's not even going to be close. What are you expecting out of Bitcoin this cycle? Like a 2x would be incredible from where it's at now, over $90,000. That would be insane. And if it goes into like completely ridiculous land, okay, a 3x? I doubt that. I mean, it could happen. But then you have XRP. It's now only worth a little over $1. Talk about the opportunity. This is what I'm talking about. And so there is interest. XRP is alive. It was just artificially suppressed last time. I really believe, if not for the SEC, we would have seen a new all-time high by now. It would have happened in probably April of 2021, because that's when XRP was running up in tandem with the rest of the market. XRP was the only coin that didn't hit a new all-time high out of all the top 10 coins, and it's the only one that was under attack from the SEC. But still, like I showed you, you can see it here again, worldwide Google searches for XRP, all-time high in April of 2021. That's when XRP hit its cycle high, last cycle, April 2021. That's when there was max interest, but there wasn't a new all-time high. A little curious, yes? And you can see it in other ways too. So take a look at this. Here is roughly the last 6 months of new account activation for the XRP ledger, where I'm circling right here towards the later part of October. That's when we're seeing the beginnings of that meme coin mania. You may recall that first ledger, and what was the other one? Magnetic. They launched this platform, made it easy for people on the utilizing the XRP ledger to launch their own meme coins and buy and sell them. So, not surprisingly, notable increase, but that's not when price action for XRP was going particularly nuts. But look, when it did start going nuts, look at this. XRP is alive and well. So for much of the last half year, it's been normal on any given day to have about 1,000 new accounts created. Look at what we just had yesterday. 6,836 new accounts. So again, or actually, that was November 16th. Okay, so 2 days ago, whatever. So almost 7,000 new accounts, but for the last half year, it's, on a normal day, probably about 1,000 new accounts. XRP is alive and well. Of course, that's happening at the same time you see the Google search increases. And so now consider this. Let me show you some more data. Here's the number of new accounts created on the XRP ledger going back over 10 years. Insanity. I mean, like, you can see, like, go back to, like, look at how small this were. Like 2015, 126 new accounts created on that day, 177 on one day, 37 new accounts on April 5th, 2015, because nobody on the planet knew what the hell XRP was. And that's still actually mostly true, despite how much it's grown since then. But then look what happened. Look what happened as XRP got towards its peak price-wise when it hit its all-time high, ultimately the beginning of 2018. But in the days leading up to that, there were all sorts of individual days where XRP was, there's about 20,000 new accounts created in a day. And we've had our peak this cycle, or at least within the last half year, at about 7,000. We're nowhere near those types of levels. There is so much more to go, and XRP's already over $1. Do you see why I'm talking like this? XRP's already over $1, and these metrics, which actually correlate in a way that would indicate when the blow-off top would be, there's so much room to go here. That's why this is exciting. That's why I'm taking the time to make this video. This is insane. XRP is a powerhouse. It's just data, folks. It's just data. And so you can see there were also accounts like if you go to, and by the way, not all of these spikes correlate with, I just want to mention this, not all of the spikes here correlate with market euphoria for XRP or the broader crypto markets. There are some spikes where XRP price might have been moving sideways, but there were accounts created for other reasons having to do with the XRP ecosystem. But let's look at when the price action was occurring. Look at April of 2021. So I already showed you that was the all-time high for global searches for XRP in April of 2021. But look at the number of new accounts. It still spiked, close to 11,000 on a day here, April 14th, 2021. But way more people were Googling it and then not buying it because it was under attack. And now there's even more money flowing in this cycle, and even more humans are in crypto than the last cycle. And now it's not suppressed. So you can jump to where we are now, and like I just showed you, but it's about 7,000 new accounts the other day. This thing is going to get even more ridiculous. And look, it's not going to go up in straight line price-wise. We're going to have some pullbacks. Don't be surprised if you see 20, 30% pullbacks. That's very normal. But, by the time there's a full-blown alt season, you better believe XRP is going to be a part of that. It is unleashed at this point. It is unshackled. It does have that legal clarity. And it is going to shock anybody that's not been paying attention. Believe that. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.